Welcome to another episode of Crimes Notes. Today we are going to be talking about how to graph after we change it into slope-intercept form. So if you look at number 1, notice that the equation is not calculator ready. So what we have to do is to get the y by itself. Because again, we're wanting to move this equation so that it's into this form so that we're comfortable graphing it, or so that it's ready to put in the calculator. In order to do this, you must move x first. So this time we're going to move x to the other side, and then it says divide if necessary, meaning if there's something in front of the y, then we're going to divide. And then remember, if it's an inequality, grab a highlighter because this is important. Remember, if it is an inequality, you must reverse the symbol if you divide by a negative number. So those things that we learned from Unit 3 did not go away. So if we multiply by a negative, then we must reverse the symbol. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 says x plus y equals 3. And it wants us to identify the b and the m, or the slope-intercept and the slope, before we graph. But we need to put it into y equals first. So if I draw the line just like I normally would, my next goal is to get the y by itself. That means I need to move the x. In order to do that, we change the sign. So just like our old school solving, we would say minus x. But then when I move it over here, I'm going to put minus x off to the side. The reason is because this doesn't have an x, therefore I can't put the two of these together. So then I'm going to go ahead and draw my line. X minus x should cancel out, and that would leave me with just y on this side. On this side, what I'm going to put first is the x term. Now, you don't have to. You could put 3 minus x, but I'm going to put this negative x first, and then I'm going to put positive 3 second. So now it actually is in our standard form that we had before. So if we were to write the equation underneath it, this is y equals, then I have my m, my x, and my plus b. Now, if you wrote it the other way, which is not incorrect, this says 3 minus x. So if I had written y equals 3 minus x, this is not incorrect. We would just have to make sure that this is y equals b, and then you have your minus mx here. So now that we're ready, we can identify. So I'm going to use this one. My b value is 3. And again, that's where we begin. And that's always going to be on the y-axis. Your y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Then I need to find my m. Well, my m is the number that's in front of x. Well, remember, if it's just a negative, this is a negative 1. So then this is going to be where I move, or my slope. And if it doesn't have a denominator, remember it's negative 1 over 1. We always fill the denominator. This is my rise and my run. So since this is negative, I would be going down and right. So now we're ready to graph. We would start at b, which is 3 on the y-axis. So I would go up 1, 2, 3 and put a point. And then to get my other points, I would follow my slope, or my movement, which is down 1, right 1. So down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. And we could keep going, and because it is a slope of 1, there's going to be a whole bunch of points that we can fit on our graph. Remember, once we get out, we do the opposite, so up and left, so that we keep the pattern the same. And then we would be ready to divide. I mean, to draw our line. I don't know why I just said divide. That was awkward. Good. All right, so I'm going to leave number 2 for you to do. I will give you one quick hint on number 2. You would need to have a -1 here. Okay, but I'm going to go down and do number 3, which is a lot like number 2. So make sure that you watch me do number 3 first before you try to go back and do number 2. Let me fold it so you can see it as usual. All right, so now we're looking at number 3. This says -3y plus 2x equals -9. Notice the y is not by itself, so I'm not ready to graph until we get that y by itself. So I would go ahead and draw my line. Then remember, step 1 said we were supposed to move the x first. Well, if you notice, this is the y, so this is what we need to move. So I would say minus, because we do the opposite, 2x, and then again I'm going to put minus 2x. Now, I'm not lining these up, again, because this doesn't have an x, and this does, so I cannot put those together. So then these would subtract out. 2 minus 2 is 0. What I have left is -3y equals, and then remember, I'm always going to put this term first, so minus 2x, and then this is -9. So now, is y by itself? Well, no, it's not. So if you go back up, remember the second step was to divide if necessary. Well, in this case, it is necessary to divide. So I would divide by -3 because that's what's with the y. But remember, I have to divide this number and this number because there's 2 terms over here. So now these would divide out and I would have the y by itself. So now would be time to get into my calculator. So in the calculator we would now put -2 divided by 3, enter, and it says, oh, I'm sorry, -2 divided by -3, and it says positive 2/3. So this would be 2/3 x. Don't lose the x. Then I would do -9 divided by -3, and I would get positive 3. Now the y is by itself, so this would be in y equals mx plus b form. Now again, if I hadn't reversed it, okay, then this would have originally been y equals -9 minus 2x, right? The -3y. So then when I divided, I would now have y equals 3 plus 2/3 x. Both of these are correct answers. It's just going to be easier if you put your x term first. That way when you go to graph, it's easier to pick out your pieces. So now our b value would be 3. And our slope is whatever is with x. So this would be 2/3. So again, this is where we begin. And that would be on the y-axis. This would be where we move. And so if it's 2/3, this would be our rise, and this would be our run. So now we're going up and right. So I'm going to go to 1, 2, 3, put a point. Then I would follow my slope up to over 1, 2, 3, up to 1, 2, 3, up to 1, 2, 3, down to 1, 2, 3, down to 1, 2, 3, down to 1, 2, 3. And now we are ready to draw our line. Good. All right, so again, now would be the time to go back and do number 2. I, however, am going to flip over onto the back, and I'm going to do number 4. So once we get onto the back, you should notice that our equal signs turned into inequalities. So this is where we've got to remember that if we divide by a negative, we have to flip the sign. So we're going to run through the steps just like they were before. So we would go ahead and draw our line. Now I've got to move x because that's the first step. So here's my x. It's a -6, so now I need to do positive 6x. Again, I'm going to put plus 6x over here as well, but I'm not going to line it up because these are not like terms. This has an x and this has a number. So now we would cross these out. We now have -4y. We keep our symbol, so less than or equal to. I have -12 plus 6x. Notice this time when I'm working it, I'm going to do it out of order just so you have an example of both. So now I would have to divide because there's a number in front of y. So I would divide by -4. Please remember you have to divide both terms. So the -12 and the 6. So now these cancel. I have y, and then now I divided by a negative. So notice once I divide by that negative, I've got to switch that symbol. So now this would be is greater than or equal to, and now would be the time to put it in the calculator. So I would say -12 divided by -4, and I get 3. And then I get 6 divided by -4, which gives me -3/2. So minus 3/2 x. So if we go to put this on our in our graph, this is y greater than or equal to, this is my b, this is my m, and my x, and I have a minus sign this time. Okay. So when we go to identify and graph, this is going to be 3 for where I begin, and it's still going to be on the y-axis. But my m is -3/2. And again, this is where I move. So -3/2 with our rise and our run. We're going down and right. The other information that we need, remember now, is we've got a greater than or equal to. So that means we should have a solid line, and we should be shading above. So I'm going to leave this for you guys to graph. Okay. Then I'm also going to leave number 5 for you guys to do on your own. Notice the x has already been moved. So all we have left to do is divide by 3 in order to get our equation. And there's not a b value, so this should end up being 0. Good. All right, so now let's look at the very bottom. This is some other types of questions that might pop up, say like on a standardized test or something like that. And it's going to say, circle the ordered pair or pairs that are solutions to each inequality. In order to do this, okay, they've given you an equation. You need to recognize that these are all x, y. So the way that you're going to check each solution is by plugging it in. So I would say 2 parentheses, my x is -7, then minus 5, my y value is -3, and then it's supposed to equal 1. So now I would be ready to type that into my calculator. So I would say 2 parentheses -7 close minus 5 parentheses negative 3 close and press enter. And it says 1. Well, it's supposed to equal 1, and so I would say yes, this is a solution. Now, there's going to be more than one solution, so you need to go back through and check each point. So we would say x, y, x, y, x, y. Try each one, and I guarantee you there will be more than one solution. All right, so then number 6 isn't much different, except for that we have that inequality. So now when we plug it in, this is still going to be the x and the y. So this would be 3, x is 1, plus 2, y is 3, and then it's supposed to be less than or equal to 11. So if I type this in, I guess I'll move it to this side here, then we would say 3 parentheses 1 plus 2 parentheses 3 and press enter, and it comes out to 9. Well, is 9 less than or equal to 11? Yes, it is. So this would be one of the solutions. So then you would do the same thing for these other points. This is x, y, x, y, x, y. Oh, and I know some of you, like if this was your equation right here, you could go ahead and do control equals. You can put in that symbol, less than or equal to, put in the 11, and it'll also tell you true or false. So that would be another way to check and see if it is a solution. If it says true when you put the whole equation in, then it's yes, and you would circle it. If it said false, then it wouldn't be. I hope that gets you guys covered. Make sure you finish up those notes and then ask if you have questions or need any help.